Might as well play the theme song again and let it play since people have to come on again.
We looking crazy.
We've been due to fly, still standing strong. Got some hard nights, but we kept God on. Love through the pain, learn when to grow. Getting quit when it got uncomfortable. We had to heal, had to find our voice. Had to choose peace even when it comes. Not perfect people, but we show up real. Faith over fear, learning how to feel. This is life with the Popes. Real love, real hope. Faith in the middle of the highs and lows. We talk it through, we heal, we grow. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the show. This is life with the Popes.
All right, guys. I don't know where Rebecca's looking at. But
Yeah, I was over here. I just put the newsletter up again. Welcome to Life with the Popes. Let's try this one more time.
So it wasn't us.
It was YouTube.
It's YouTube.
It glitched.
Doggone
it did
jokers.
something crazy. Welcome into Life with the Popes, episode 4, where we are getting freedom from old identities. Freedom from old identities. And this is part of our freedom series. The whole month of March, we will be covering freedom in different areas of life in order to be able to help you shift into freedom.
Into freedom.
We're back. Chrissy, we're back, right?
Yeah.
YouTube glitched or did something. We had to start it all over again. So we're back, guys, and welcome in. Like I said, Mr. Pope has got allergies going on. Excuse him if he's not 100% tonight. But I will help carry us through.
See how crunk
We're
she
here
is?
tonight.
Oh, what she had? She crunk. You crunk.
I'm crunk. Maybe I just know I gotta support him.
Yeah.
So we gotta make sure we get through this tonight. So tonight, freedom from old identities.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's get into our notes real quick. I didn't even have it pulled up because of all our glitching.
Glitchity glitch glitch.
Glitchity glitch glitch. All right, guys, from our notes, opening up. Freedom from an old identity. Have you ever realized that the biggest prison you've ever lived in was a version of yourself you outgrew? Today, we're talking about freedom from an old identity, the version of you that was built in survival, the role you played to stay safe, the mask that got you applause but not peace.
Fake it till you make it.
Applause but not peace. Or a false sense of peace. The identity that you kept alive, but this is how it's limiting you. Our old identities built in survival are often built from pain and trauma. And some of these old identities are even inherited from our role models and our environments that we saw demonstrated to us that then we took on as our own identity and carried it forward.
Yeah.
So examples, the overachiever identity, the strong one, the church girl, the corporate executive, the fixer, the provider, the peacemaker.
The Mr. Nice Guy.
That part.
Yeah.
Me, the rescuer, the enabler, the one who has to always have it together in my family, my immediate family, because nobody else ever had it together. So I was the one who had to carry us financially. Even in a previous marriage, 3 sons, my parents, my mom being sick. I was the go-to. At times, I felt like I was in the middle of a circle and everyone was around me with their hand out, wanting something, needing something. And I was the only provider of everything.
So if most of this, shedding off the former identity, then that means the question becomes, where did we pick up the identity? At what point in our lives did we become this person and that became our identity? And most times it started in childhood, right?
Definitely.
And so, you had to either be that person to be, especially if you was like I was the oldest in my family, so I was given the responsibility to watch over the rest of the kids. If the house wasn't in a certain way, it's my fault versus them because I was in charge. So I became that leader as a very young man, and I've led my whole life. How about you? What's your identity? If I had to ask you, what would you identify as if we're going to shed the old identity and be our original selves? The question becomes then, who are you now? And who's the real you inside? So just give us a list real quick of what you identify as: a leader, follower, fixer, whatever Rebecca named.
The quiet one.
Yeah.
Guys, you have to stop and think about. So here's some pointers to help you identify old identities versus where you are now. Mm-hmm. Because at some point the identity begins to crack, because as you shift into different seasons of your life, what served you, mm-hmm. right? Because some identities are blessings in one season, but then bondage in the next. So it might have got you through a certain season, mm-hmm. but now in this season, it is no longer serving you, and it becomes the very hindrance to you thriving and going to your next level. When I was 10, my sister died in a car accident. She was only 18. I was 10. I became the only child. My parents were grieving the loss of a daughter. They already had a marriage that was rocky to begin with. I stepped in almost becoming like, you're making me choke.
Sorry.
Almost becoming more like my mom's best friend, supporting her, supporting my dad, becoming my dad's counselor. Mind you, at 10 years old, it's like I grew up overnight and I'm having to play kind of referee between them, trying to fix everything for them, trying to help them. They're talking to me and having very grown-up conversations with me individually because they're hurting and they're struggling. And the part of me that's always been a counselor, a helper, a coach, was there for my parents.
When you shouldn't have been. They should have been there for you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Amy says fixer, enabler, peacemaker. Chrissy says I was the fixer, the stabilizer, the strong one. Ari says fixer, problem solver, supportive.
In other words, that word fixer, how did the responsibility fall to you to be the fixer? Because you said that's what you were. That's what I've been. I mean, it's like, with the peacemakers, the fixers, the cool person that keeps everybody calm. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't ask for that. I don't know if you did. I didn't. And it seemed like every time there was a problem, you're the one they turn to solve it or to have the idea. That follows you throughout your whole entire life. So if the title tonight is Freedom from an Old Identity, some of these identities, Rebecca, came in trauma seasons.
Most identities come in pain and trauma and transitions. Yeah. So here's another thing. So we're talking about the leadership side of the burdens of this. Mm-hmm. What about you're the youngest child and you've been spoiled your whole life?
Nobody's going to admit they've been spoiled.
Everyone takes the pressure off of you. Everyone does everything for you. What is it called? Parachute parenting or umbrella parenting, where your older siblings, your parents always get you out of a bind. You're never always giving you money, always helping you. And then that transition will often happen when you get of a certain age. And all of a sudden these people around you are like, nope.
Yeah. Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Patricia says, I'm the youngest on both sides.
Oh, you just run then.
And so,
you ain't spoiled, you're run.
And so then literally it's like when people start pulling away and not wanting to do for you or calling you out on your entitlement or your spoiledness, all of a sudden this is an identity shift. Because you got to stand on your own 2 feet.
So you start feeling abandoned then.
I'm sure there's abandonment that comes with it.
Or selfishness.
Entitlement. Patricia says, yes, I'm spoiled. I am spoiled.
Oh, Patricia, you said she's spoiled. Now Ronald said he's the only child. So you got both, Ronald. You had the leadership, you had the leadership side and you had the spoiled side. But as a young man, I'm pretty sure the leadership side came more. And so then as you grew up, you didn't have the responsibility to pass to other people. It was all on you, which was in your case. But you was kind of spoiled, though.
Yeah, I was spoiled, but I was also burdened. Yeah. I was burdened My mother and my father spoiled me, but at the same time, there was parentification. When you take on too much responsibility.
Let's not use the word spoiled, because what I was thinking more of is you became more sheltered because of the loss of your older sister.
Oh, very sheltered.
Then all of this shelteredness and overprotection fell on you, along with their trauma of losing their daughter. So then a lot of you can't.
My dad became super overprotective, right? But here's the other thing.
I was super
spoiled and immature.
That's good. Thank you for that, Rhonda. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Not prepared for life.
Yes.
So some of you might have a naive identity where you just identify as naive. You kind of put your head in the sand about things. You don't want to accept the truth about people. You don't want to step up to do the hard things in life, right? Because you've been sheltered or you were spoiled and you weren't, that kind of toughness wasn't built into your experiences. And so there's a softness to you and a softness to your nature that tends to be fragile or naive. Well, life doesn't care that you're fragile or naive.
Right.
It's going to beat you up every chance it gets until you recognize that you got to step up and grow up and get stronger, right?
So could entitlement be a crutch, a handicap, so to say? Because a lot of people become entitled because they've been sheltered.
Yes.
And so now that they have to see life for what it is and fend for themselves, now this, oh, woe is me syndrome kicks in because all your life it was given to you.
Yeah.
It wasn't given to me. I had to earn mine.
There's victimhood inside of it, passivity inside of it. This also comes out of religious upbringings. When you have been highly sheltered and you think that people are so good and people are supposed to act like this or be like this.
Everybody love the Lord,
and you go out
right?
into the real world and now it's a dog eat dog world out there. But the part of your subconscious and your old identity wants to stay in that innocence, wants to stay in that naivete. And now, but yet life experiences are showing you otherwise. That you have to step up, you have to toughen up, you have to be strong. You have to have a voice. You can't let people take advantage of you.
Yeah, keep going. That's good stuff.
All right, some signs you've outgrown an identity. Give practical markers. Here we go. You feel restless even though everything looks successful. You're irritated by things you used to tolerate. You crave depth over performance. You feel like you're acting. You are exhausted from maintaining an image. These are examples.
That was me right there. Because my whole life, I've been the preacher. I've been the leader of the young people. I've been the one that God's chosen. And I'm over here. Can I just be Kerry? Can I just do what everybody else is doing? Because I was held to these strict Let me tell you when I went back and looked at, and most of you that may have grown up in religion can attest to this. Your childhood is robbed of you when you're in a religious organization as a child. You're expected to govern yourself as an adult, meaning you can't sin, you can't have moments, you can't have. I mean, what they call hot in the butt was you basically coming into your own sexual nature. I'm not hot in the butt. I'm just woke up one day and trying to figure out what is won't go that. Hormones kicking in. So instead of being taught how to be a young adult, you were given all of these do's and don'ts and govern yourself as an adult, and to the point where you lost your childhood or the identity. So when they call you, you got this, what they call it when you're very, promiscuous. You're not promiscuous. You're young. You're wondering why I have these emotions. Now you got to suppress them. You got to become seclusive and all these feelings. And then next thing you know, you get married and meet someone. Now you got to turn them back on.
Yeah.
We've been taught to turn them off.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like I was taught it's better to marry than to burn. So we couldn't date. I had to get married. I got married at 18 years old. What the hell did I know about myself? Less than starting a family. So I'm married at 18. I had my first child at 20. And here I am, a kid with a kid.
Yeah.
This was an identity that was given to me through religion.
Yeah, and family.
And the reality is, I would have been cool having sex and asking for forgiveness than putting a ring on somebody's finger and messing up and being a kid. I mean, that's my story. I don't know what your story may be. That's mine.
Yeah, I got married at 19 as well. Also, Kerry and I grew up very similar. Very similar. Grew up in religion, weren't allowed to date, got married to our first boyfriend, first girlfriend, had kids, right? Yeah. So we form these identities based on our environment, based on performance and pressures, based on expectations of others, right? Chrissy says, I can definitely relate to religious trauma. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I didn't have a real childhood.
No, you could even go. Yeah, but God bless you. And how many of you can attest to that in your growing up, and we're not bashing religion. We're just saying how religion played a major part in the identity that we took into our adult life. And it was only till you got into some trials and tribulations that you started to see through some of the muddy water and realize this is not it.
Yeah.
And you said you checked out, right?
Yeah. At 30, I got divorced and I checked out.
And I went through the ranks.
Yeah.
To the top.
Kerry kept doubling down.
Yeah.
And guys, so also inside of identity, why letting go feels so hard. So let's talk more. We got into religion, we got into family birth order, we got into the pressures. So I heard someone say people pleasing as an older child.
That was me.
So here, let's get over into professional identities,
okay.
Right? Let's talk about the career choice you took on at whatever age you decided to go in that direction that may now be expired. Because what we do gives us such a strong sense of identity. And so what if you chose something at 25 and you're here now at 35 and 40 and 45 doing something that no longer is fulfilling, it's not enjoyable. Yeah. And now it's time to pivot because you can no longer ignore how unhappy you are. Yeah. It's time to go back to school. It's time to start a business. It's time to step out of that identity, right? And stretch yourself into something else. That goes as, of course, the same thing when you get married. You've just changed identity. You've become a husband. You've become a wife, right? You have a child. You become a mother. You become a father. These are all identity shifts, you guys, at different stages of life. And with it comes major shifts. So why letting go feels like death? This is where it gets real. Letting go of identity feels like losing status. Because if you're going to go shift careers, the fear is loss of money, loss of respect, right? Even if you're so unhappy, losing income. Letting go of identity can feel like losing income, losing relationships. What about if you're going through a spiritual awakening or a midlife awakening and you're shifting, all your perspectives are shifting, your priorities are shifting, how you see life, how you want to live your life is shifting. And the people who used to be a fit for that old you are no longer a fit. But yet you're so afraid to let go of the people you've had. You love them dearly, but now you no longer enjoy those relationships. You're no longer enjoying those connections, right? So it can look like losing relationships. Even as you lean into purpose, you lean into alignment. The things that used to please you may not please you anymore. The things you used to enjoy may not enjoy anymore. Right?
And that's most people.
And that's growth and maturity.
And that's where you see a lot of midlife crisis come in.
Losing admiration because you do things that people applaud you for, but when it's now time to shift because those things are no longer fulfilling you or you're no longer interested, but it's what people applauded you for, it's what you're known for,
yes,
right? Or it's what made your family proud of you, it's what made others look up to you, and now all of a sudden, in order to be authentic to you, it's time to set that old identity free so you can shift into greater things that God has for you. But if you're so concerned about what others think, right, this can be really, really hard.
I like what Trista said. I think a lot of people identities are tied to what parents, families wanted for them and
versus their truth.
That's it. And that's really, because I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm grateful to be a pastor. I'm grateful to have my anointing and power and all that. But a lot of you guys don't know I'm an accomplished musician. I couldn't play football, I couldn't play basketball because it fell on church nights. I could have been the next Michael Jordan. I could have been the next Kobe Bryant. I mean, see, it's haters like this right here. See, my identity is shout out about. See, that's my anointing. See, she felt that. But when I say basketball, football, I can't be that, right?
Okay, Michael Jordan.
Okay, Rihanna.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I hate her, man.
Wait. Ari says it's hard to let go of our old identities because they give purpose to some wound inside of us. Yeah, it's really good.
Hate her.
Whatever. Chrissy says, I had to let a lot of people go, childhood friends and family, because I'm not who I used to be.
And be honest with you, that's good. Because at some point we need to, what's funny is, and I'm not saying, okay, take this analogy. When a snake grows, he sheds his skin. When you see skin laying on the ground, it means the snake has gotten bigger. Most of us are still wearing the same skin or identity we had when we were a kid. Yeah. We haven't shed and grown up. We're still in a childlike state or childlike mind of expectation.
Yeah.
And some of us are scared to dream bigger because to dream bigger, you think you all that now.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you better than us.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think I'm better than you. If you still down here and I'm up here, yes, I do think I'm better than you because people will keep you down with them if you let them. That's why you can't go to some family functions because when you walk in, here they come. They all that. They got on this, that, and the other. Yes, I do. I work hard and you should want to better yourself. You should want to grow. Sometimes people won't let you grow. Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're hilarious.
I'm just being honest.
Letting go of identity can also feel like losing certainty, right? What about the transition when you leave corporate to go to entrepreneurship? You've built a career in that corporate job, in that corporate facility. Right now you're transitioning. And that can be really, really hard. When I left corporate, right? Well, I fully embraced entrepreneurship. I was ready to let go of that thing. But I carried so much of my professional identity from corporate into my entrepreneurship. But here's the key, guys.
What's the key, Rebecca?
The reality is that what we're really talking about tonight is ego mind and fear mind. Ego, pride, fear, arrogance, fear, a lot of fear is what keeps us stuck in old identities. So I'll say this, like for me, when I first married Kerry, first couple years we're married, things just started to get really rocky. And I told you guys in another podcast series that I was like, wait a minute, something's not working. And I realized that I kept showing up as my mom in a marriage, and that old identity of enabler, rescuer, fixer, right? That hyper independence that I had as a single woman, that I wasn't used to a man providing for me or taking care of everything. And literally, that's been one of the things in our marriage that had to get healed. It had to shift because I couldn't keep operating in that old identity. It's like sometimes you get married and you're still operating as if you're single and you don't even realize you're doing that because you carried that identity. What is it based in? Survival, fear, right? Want to keep your own, don't want to be taken advantage of, don't want to be able to lose your independence, don't want to be relying too heavily on someone and the rug get yanked out from underneath you. I know that's relatable to somebody on here tonight, especially as women, right? When you had to work so hard to provide for yourself, especially if you had time as a single mother, you get married and now there's adjustments that have to be made. Right? There should be adjustments. In healthy marriage, you shouldn't have to be operating the way you operated when you were single.
No.
Rashida says, when I changed church, it was hard for my mom, but I was ready. Okay. Kerry, can you speak on some transition in life that required you to shift your identity in a major way? Does something come to mind?
I had to shift my identity when it came to being always perfect. I was always seen as the apostle. I was always seen as, daddy, the strict guy, the this. And it was almost like I couldn't be me. I had to be two people, one Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of deal. And it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be me. And, I stopped being the yes man. I stopped being the one that bit his tongue and didn't speak his truth and just kind of tried to keep the peace. I became the guy at, you know what, like it or love it, leave it, whatever. This is who I am. And I started speaking up more. I started to address things more. I started, I got to a point where, because for me, I dealt with a lot of abandonment issues. So it got to the point where, when you're afraid someone's going to leave you or they're going to get upset with you and turn their back on you, you don't address things. It got to the point where I'm like, whatever. I mean, I done had enough people leave me not saying something that I might well say something if you're going to leave anyway. And I learned that when I started being more of who I am, it draw people closer because you're getting the authentic person. And so for me, I wasn't afraid to become my own entrepreneur, stepping out, starting my own thing, believing in myself. Because what happens when you start being you start believing yourself. You start buying your own stock. And so for me, in our marriage, it became more of, okay, Kerry, you got to be you, man. And I began to, you said that. I'm very vocal. I'm very, stern and aggressive. If I want something, I see it, go get it. Instead, I don't ask for permission. I go and do it, and then we'll figure it out later. Right. What are you laughing at? What I said?
I'm just being like, yeah, you're aggressive. You should hear my customer. If he has to call into a customer service line to get something's wrong with something on some account or something, I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to stay here. Yeah. He is. Listen, Kerry is not the same person.
But let me be honest about something. A part of me, if I could be really transparent, because of my position in ministry, felt like I had to be the person that didn't cause people to fall, or they didn't see me in a manner of, I thought he was this and I thought he was that. So you're not allowed to be angry.
Yeah. You're not allowed. You have to always be kind, always be soft, always be like baby Jesus, right? That's kind of like what the pressure.
Because to be honest, when the first time they hear apostle, there's this expectation. Yeah. Rebecca even said when she was growing up, she didn't want to marry a pastor because of the expectations. So when she heard that about me and I'm being an apostle, it's like, whoa. But then she got to meet me and realized, because she met Kerry. I didn't let her see me as a preacher. She didn't see me as a singer. She didn't know I could play. She got a chance to meet the man. Yeah. And most people never meet the true you. They meet the representative of you because of what's been told to someone about you. Yeah. And so it was when I was able to really be me, and she fell in love with this. All the other things came later. Mm-hmm. I didn't marry a fan.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. When he would talk to me about his previous girlfriends and wives, I literally would listen to him, and it was like he married fans. Like literally, the women that he was involved. His ex-wife was literally a fan. And that's like a dangerous situation because Kerry, when he's preaching, Apostle Kerry is a totally different person than just Kerry relaxed at home. Kerry is silly, he's funny, he's cool, he's laid back, he's even-tempered. But if you fall in love with that man on the stage, you're going to be very unhappy with who you have at home because he's just like a very laid back, easygoing guy. Yeah. Right. And so I realized really quickly, I was like, I could see why he cherished our dating, cherished our relationship, where he could just really, really be himself, because that old identity. Right. And even now, blending the authentic Kerry into ministry, that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. Right. Because being able to let go of the stuffiness, the rigidness, the inauthentic parts of ministry that no longer served him in those old containers, right? And so as you move forward, it's like recognizing that God has not brought you to this point of shifting and transitioning into new identity by mistake. It's not a coincidence. It falls right in line with everything you're praying for, right? All your dreams, everything you're striving and thriving to be able to have in life. It requires a shift in who you are. It requires you to embrace probably some things that you have been denying, repressing, or running from your whole life.
So let me ask you, what about you? When did you, realize that I can't be the old, I got to be me?
I think one of the things that's been the hardest identity acceptance for me is there's always this thing in my mind of either or. So I'm anointed, I'm prophetic, I'm a minister, I'm spiritually gifted, and then I'm a businesswoman. And these have been my two major identities in my life. And so for most of my young adult life, I repressed the ministry side because it was like I'd been so hurt in church, spiritual abuse, church hurt, that I repressed that. But then as I stopped repressing that and it comes, up, I so over identify as a businesswoman and feeling like those two things are at odds, if that makes sense, right? That the nature of a spiritual or gifted person is different, a different side of the brain, a different way of thinking, everything when it comes to business. And so being able to get to the place now where I am whole, I give myself permission to be both. It's not either or. And society put so much pressure on us to label ourselves or put ourselves into boxes that you might be multi-gifted, multi-talented, multi-hyphenated, and there's nothing like there's so many things that you can do, but we don't realize how much pressure we have on us to be just one thing, right? And they say, what do you do? It's hard for you to then to say, well, I'm a businesswoman and I do this, but I'm also a minister and I do this. And because we want to have things fit in this pretty little box with pretty little labels.
And that's not how it works.
And that's not life, right? We are so talented. We are so gifted as children of God. And to put limitations on that is just the world. We bend to the pressure of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been my biggest struggle.
Okay. Now, how many of you watching us can truly relate that you have been identified or your identity falls into this certain category of expectation, and then you having to be somebody else behind closed doors because, we was always told, don't let your good be evil spoken of.
Yeah.
I can't let because I don't know who's judging. So at the end of the day, I just got to be me. Yeah. And I've learned something. The people that really know you will always respect you. I'm going to say this real quick. The reason why sometimes you have to wear certain identities is people won't respect your true identity because they'll get too common with you because of their immaturity. It takes mature people to be around you to be you.
Yeah.
If people get to know you on one certain level and then you let them see the other side of you, they think, we cool. They start acting crazy and they lose that respect. And so there comes a level of who can you be authentic with? Jesus had the multitude. He had the 12. He had the 3. Then he had himself with God. You can't be yourself with everybody. You just can't.
Well, especially as a leader. Now, we're talking about leaders right now.
Well, just no, even regularly, because there's some people that won't respect you. It takes mature.
You're talking to be vulnerable.
What?
You're saying to be being vulnerable with people?
I don't even call it vulnerable. Being prime example. Can I be me with people that come to church on Sunday morning?
Yes, to a certain extent, but not.
That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. Right, so there's levels of access that people can have to your authenticity. I'm not saying tonight shed your own and go ahead and be buck wild because you got people that be like, I thought you were saved. No, but there's levels of maturity that comes with how people can. Give me an example. When Jesus went and prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, the multitude of people that was following him and looking for a word would have been like, Jesus crying. Mm-hmm. And he was there begging, asking that this cup pass. I was willing to die for the man.
Yeah.
The reality is you got to know the levels.
Yeah.
And people have to know you on levels.
That's true.
Rebecca knows me on levels that some of you'll never know. But there's others so you can't, and we're saying today as you shed these identities, also notice some people only know you on that level because they can't handle you on any other one.
True.
Let's read the comments real quick before you get to your words. Someone said, yes, levels. Shannon said, yes, there are levels to the depths you can go with people. Amen.
Yeah. Key point, your ego panics when your soul is evolving. So as you're evolving, if you find yourself in a season of identity shifting, so I'll say an example of this for me was when I made the very hard decision to step away from teaching and coaching, dating, love, and relationships, right? Getting to the point of recognizing through my midlife awakening that this no longer served me, was no longer a fit, but it's like taking the last 15 years of your life that you've built all this success, recognition, right? Money, businesses, all of the above and saying, okay, I'm going to shift and pivot. And that's scary, right? That's really scary. That will shake you at your core. And so your ego can panic when it's time for change. Ego doesn't like change. And so recognizing, giving yourself grace as you're going through a transition in identity, recognizing you're going to have to hold space for yourself. You're going to have to give yourself patience and grace as you transition. Mm-hmm. So the freedom on the other side, let's talk about that. What changes when you shed the old skin? Decisions become clearer. Your body relaxes. You stop performing. Your voice gets stronger. Your circle gets smaller but deeper.
Yep.
Your income aligns with your values. Mm-hmm. Freedom becomes ownership, peace, alignment, and power without proving. I can testify to that. Like, I love where I'm at now. I love this last few years of transition that I went through in my midlife awakening. That's what I call it, not a midlife crisis. I call it midlife awakening. As I've transitioned, I did a video last night on business on my channel, and I was literally like, I love this. I love talking about business. And just giving myself permission to be all the different sides of myself. I love preaching and teaching, and I still love coaching, and I love talking about business, but I also love ministry. It's like just being able to show up as my authentic self versus this small little box that I'd put myself in, that people that knew me for just that, mm-hmm. and feeling like I have to show up as that because it's what people expect. It's like, no, I'm all these different things. And now it's so freeing and so exciting, and it's fun, mm-hmm. right? It's fun. Ronald says the circle becomes a dot, right?
Basically.
Pretty much.
Basically becomes a dot, and it's a good dot.
Yeah, it's a good dot.
It's a good dot.
Do you have anything to add on that point?
No, you're going good, baby.
Okay. Practical steps to release the old identity. Make it actionable. Name the identity. Which
you have done tonight. That's what we were asking earlier. What do you identify as?
People pleaser, mm-hmm. overachiever, the strong one, hyper independent,
yes,
codependent, mm-hmm. right? Chrissy said, it's a blessing getting to experience all of who you are. But thank you, Chrissy. Thank you so much.
I get it all the time. Pray for me.
Stop it. You're so crazy.
I get all of it. All of it.
So name the old identity.
All of it.
Maybe your old identity is employee. That's a good one. Maybe your old identity is employee and you're shifting into entrepreneurship. That's a great identity to shed. You got to name what you're letting go of.
Boss chick.
You know what? I cannot. 2.
How you going on? Skip what I just said. You let it go, didn't you?
Not exactly. Yes, but no. I'm still a boss chick.
I believe in you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm still a businesswoman.
No, when I said boss chick, she thinks she boss. One time I said, look, I ain't your employee. I'm your husband. Don't bring that boss chick energy over here.
Listen, that doesn't work in relationships. 2, identify what it protected you from.
Reality.
I was wearing my old identity, matchmaker, love coach, dating coach, to protect me. I was hiding my power. I was hiding the parts of me that I was afraid would be rejected, the parts of me that I thought would be misunderstood, right? Ministry, the depth of my business experience, all of that was really more behind the scenes until I decided, okay, I'm ready to shed this. I'm ready to be my authentic self. So what does the old identity protect you from? 3, decide if you still need that protection. You have to be ready to make this shift.
Yeah. You have Does it serve you anymore?
Right. Is it really expired?
You? Yes.
Is it expired? Are you ready to let go? 4, take one aligned action that contradicts the old pattern. Take one aligned action that contradicts the old pattern. What does that look like? If you're a people pleaser, the next opportunity, instead of lying and saying yes, that you'll do something when you really want to say no.
Say no.
Say no. Right?
Yeah.
If you're shedding employee identity, taking the steps to start building your business, go ahead and incorporate it. Do some research on your business this week, right? That's shifting. Just one small action.
Yep. Do something opposite of what you would normally do. The opposite
of what you would normally do. So that looks like boundaries. If you're someone who has not had great boundaries, right? Recognizing that you've given too much access to certain people, start backing away.
Yep. When you know you didn't have good boundaries, and we're going to talk about that one of these days. Boundaries is very important because a lot of people don't have boundaries. And just because someone asks you to do it doesn't mean you have to do it. You have to know how to put yourself first.
Here's a couple more examples. If your old identity is the strong one, ask for help. If it's the overachiever, rest. Publicly rest. Fall back from all of the commitments. If it's the fixer, stop rescuing. Oh my gosh, guys, that's a big one for me. That last example is a big one for me, especially when it comes to my kids and my grandchildren. Because I have been a fixer my whole life. And to let my adult kids sit in the circumstances they've created or sit and deal with the consequences of their own choices and not just want to fix it or rescue them, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's tough.
It's tough. But that's the old identity. The old me was a rescuer. If someone was hurting, somebody close to me, I would be out the door in a heartbeat to go get to them, to help them, to step in. And that's not always what's required. People need to be able to work on things themselves. And it's not always you that has to be to the rescue for people.
Correct.
People have to stand on their own 2 feet.
Correct. And that's important because you never learn the lessons if you don't let them learn the lessons. If you're always fixing it, their mindset is, mommy's got it, daddy's got it, such and such has it. And they're going to always run to you to fix it or look to you to fix it. And there's going to come a situation where you're basically handicapping. Well, actually, all the situations are handicapping them from growing up.
Yeah.
And we had to learn that. I mean, if your child is out here blowing money because they know you're going to give them money, well, when they hit the wall and they call you and say, I'm about to lose it. Well, I'll be praying for you.
Right.
Because that's the only way you're going to learn. You can't grow up until you grow up, and you got to let them grow up.
All right, Kerry, what identity did you have to release to become who you are now?
I had to release the identity of being perfect, having to have it all together all the time. No, I'm there's some days, what's that saying? It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to say I'm not okay. I got tired of being Jesus to everybody. Yeah. Always having to be perfect and be right and, worry about whether or not I cause somebody to, see me differently. I'm worried about, 99 people loved it, but that one person just didn't get it. And I'm over here tripping over the one person. That one lost sheep stay lost. You know how they say, go up to that one sheep. That one sheep doesn't want to be that one.
Listen, Kerry's kids and his family, they're just like, Kerry Pope is not the same man he was 10 years ago.
You know how we were taught to go up to that one sheep and you got the 99? I'm like this. You saw these other 99 acting right. What's wrong with you? Look, when you figure it out, we'll be over here. I'm not leaving my comfort zone to come find you. I've been teaching you. And so I stopped being everything. Yeah. And I had to realize the reason why, and I love biblical things. And I'll give you an example. Moses grew up. He was in the Nile. He had calling over his life. Moses was going to lead the children of Israel out of bondage. And he goes to Pharaoh. He does all these things. And the man missed the promised land because he had a moment. And when I think about things, we're not allowed to have moments.
Mm-mm. And I got ministry.
And that's what I'm saying. And so for me, because I said, you know what, then I'm just going to miss it. Because I got to have moments to be. One thing Rebecca says to me all the time, guys, and y'all got to hear what I'm about to say. I'll have a moment and I'll apologize for having a moment. And she'll say, baby, you're human. When there's these expectations on you to be perfect, to always have it together, you're not human. Being human means you're going to have moments. You're not going to have it together. You're going to lose it. You may say some things you have to apologize for. But it's okay because it shows you're human. You're not going to always, you said something key, stop performing.
Yeah.
I stopped performing. People say, I thought you was this, or you don't have this anymore. Some people don't even think I'm saved anymore. Some people say I'm not even an apostle anymore. I don't care. I don't care if you don't think I'm this, that, and the other. As long as I can go to sleep at night and I know that God and I are cool. That's all that matters. Because what you'll find your life doing, and this is for me because you asked me the question because I've been in religion and ministry all my life, is the moment you make a mistake, you're getting blamed for it.
Yeah.
But the moment you do all these great exploits, oh, he's a man of God. I'm a man of God whether or not you call me a man of God.
Yeah. People are fickle.
So I got over I remember when you and I were starting to do the relationship stuff and trying to help people, and I was trying to help men, and men coming against the women, trying to stop all the women bashing. I got called a simp. I got called all these things. I was like, the hell with all y'all. Figure your own relationship out. I'm good. That was my mindset, because when you try to help people, it's at your expense. Yeah. And so I began to stop trying to be everything to everybody and be what I need to be for myself. Yeah. That's what I changed. So at the end of because this is my, I say it everywhere I go. Go to a funeral and look at that program. There's only one person name on that program. That's the person that's going in the ground. You got all these people that come to the funeral and they give their expressions of remembrance to the person. Mm-hmm. That person can't hear a word they're saying.
You're gone.
They're gone. Now, what happens if you live your whole life for everybody and never live for yourself, and all these people showing up to give their remembrance and remarks about you? The true you never lived. Yeah. You live based on the identity of what they receive you to be. That's why I'm like, hold on. And when I die, I'm going to die happy, fulfilled, and you can come to my funeral and say what you want to say, not come, it don't matter. I'm going to be okay with how I died. And many people, if you be honest, if you died right now, you never lived, because the true you never came out. It was the identity of expectations. And so for me, Rebecca, I kind of said, the hell with it. I'm going to be me. And you ain't got to call me anointed. You ain't got to come to my funeral. You ain't got to come to my anything. Because the only thing that really matters is what you think as my wife and what God thinks as my savior. Yeah. Because my kids are grown. They're doing their own thing. Some of you are living for your kids. Some of you are staying in relationships for your kids, and your kids know you ain't happy. Yep. So at the end of the day, for me, I checked out of performing. I checked out of expectations, deuces. And Rebecca will tell you, somebody said, well, you can't say that. How people gonna look at you? You're an apostle. Dude, I'm a man who happens to have the title in the office of an apostle. That's who I am. And I can still prophesy and do all these things, but sometimes I want to watch ESPN and eat a bag of Cheetos. I mean, come on. If every time you turn around, I give you an example, I'm going to let you have it back.
You're fine, babe.
Bishop T.D. Jakes. Oh, we know him as the anointed man of God. He's this, he's that. If you was to see Jakes out having a margarita and chilling in his own corner, somebody gonna be like this, taking the video. And then they gonna put that video on social media, say, so-called preacher having a drink. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Is he with somebody else's wife? No. Is he out here doing X, Y, and Z? He's over here chilling in his corner, having a small cocktail, not even drunk, just there's an expectation that comes. I'm expected to be me. And many people can't be themselves. So watch this. Video comes out. Oh, we see what he does in his private time. He's an alcoholic. Now he's an alcoholic. Yeah. In other words, you call people hypocrites because the real them can't show up in public. So they got to wear this identity because people won't let them be themselves. Mm-hmm. So for me, I checked out and I said, I'm going to be me. So you may show up at Carrabba's and see me and Rebecca sitting there chilling, and I got me a Long Island iced tea sitting right here, chilled. You may just see that.
And we don't hide that.
And if you want to talk about me, pay for it. Back to you.
So the same question comes to me.
Somebody's like, Mr. Pope's cooking. No, see, you can tell my passion with this because I've lived almost 50 years of my life making people happy so that they could call me the man of God.
Yeah.
I'm the man of God, whether you call me that or not.
Do you guys know the statistics on pastors that are suicidal are astronomical?
Or wanting to quit. It's
just
off the
in
chain.
ministry in general, behind the scenes, people are very unhappy.
Yeah.
Very unhappy.
Yeah.
And
I'm delivered tonight. But how many can be honest before I get back to Rebecca and say you can relate to what I'm saying, that you're tired of being identified as this expectation of you.
Yeah.
And then whenever the real you shows up, oh, I thought you was this. I didn't know. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You need deliverance. No, that's why most people, like she said, that your circle gets smaller. Yep. Because you realize I don't need but one or two people in my corner. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. The rest you have, I call it, you have friends and you have associates. Yeah. And many people you're calling your friends are truly your associates. You don't really have 2 or 3 solid friends in your entire life. Yeah. That's it. All right, I'm done. So what's yours, Rebecca? I done preached and delivered and everything.
New Life Butterfly says, this is a very good word for me. I just got off of a prayer call with some sisters and we were checking in on our health and wellness. And this came up about being our true identities.
There you go.
Chrissy says, yes, I've been there. It's exhausting living up to the expectation of others.
Yes.
Taylor says, just lost my ministry job and I was relieved. Yeah. Relieved.
Wow.
So true. Ronald says, I'm delivered tonight. I just want to treat God and people right and live my life.
That's it. See how real life with we are real. Yeah. We're not up here trying to fake the funk or be, the word of God says in 1 Peter 6:9, if I be no. Go back to you now. I'm sorry. Back to regular,
great, babe, great stuff.
Program.
So the same question goes for me. What did I have to let go of?
What did you have to let go of?
Oh, Lord, I don't got out of the question.
That's okay.
Let me go back. What was the question I asked Kerry, guys?
So, Kerry, so what is it that you had, identity that you had to let go of? That's what you asked me. So, Rebecca, what did you have to let go of identity-wise?
I had to let go of people-pleasing.
Yeah.
I had to let go of being a fixer. Mm-hmm. I had to let go of living my life for my children.
Ooh.
And them being my everything. I had to let go of being an orphan, identifying as an orphan, an adult orphan, with my parents and my sister all having passed away.
Yeah, because that was a tough one for you.
Yeah, it's hard. I had to let go of being a provider. That as this last few years, as Kerry began to pay all the bills, and I had never, ladies, listen, I had never been in a position before where a man took care of me. And that healed something inside of me that said, I was so used to being a breadwinner, so used to being a provider. And there was just some things that got healed down deep on the inside of me. It was uncomfortable. It was hard, but I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I had not began to shed that identity of provider, because inside of it was hyper independence. It was isolation. It lacked connection and intimacy and trust with Kerry.
And respect.
Right? And respect.
And respect.
And respect. So those are some of the identities that had to heal in me. Minister. I had to come into accepting ministry in my life, right? Which was a hard struggle to accept. Yeah. So those are some of the old things that I had to let go of in order to embrace.
So the question becomes, as we close, are you ready to let go of the identities that you have been known as?
We got a little bit of challenge for them.
Oh, we have a challenge. Let's challenge. And then you're going to put the links for the other stuff. Yeah.
Freedom isn't about escaping your life. It's about becoming honest enough to outgrow it. This week, write down, the version of me I'm releasing is fill in the blank. The version of me I'm becoming is fill in the blank. So that's your homework. The version of me I'm releasing is blank. The version of me I'm becoming is blank. All right? You want to make sure that I'm going to actually put that in the comments real quick. That's your homework for the week.
Are you guys enjoying tonight? Has tonight been a blessing to you? As she put the question in the challenge, that's what we want you to
That's your challenge. That's your homework this week from class.
And it's not as easy as it sounds, guys. It seems real simple. No. When you start really doing an analysis and then you have to really take this question to heart, it's going to be challenging. So how many tonight can say, Kerry and Rebecca, we truly have enjoyed you guys. What you're saying tonight has caused me to do a look inward and say, you know what? I'm getting ready to be me. And if, I ain't got time to worry about who doesn't like the true me, who is saying, I thought you would. No, baby, listen, I am going to be 58 years old this year. I am past trying to please people. If God blesses me to be 20 years from now, I'm 78. You think I'm going to spend the next 20 years worrying about what people think? Yeah. No, I'm at a point, I'm trying to enjoy Cancun, the grill, Puerto Vallarta. I'm trying to enjoy all the Antigua, all these islands with my wife, Philippines with the grandkids. Listen, we're beyond trying to sit up in church on Sunday morning with a tambourine and telling you to do the same thing I've been telling you for 30 years. No. Rebecca, what did you just post, baby, so we can get up out of here?
Listen, if this has been a blessing to you, our Life with the Popes is quickly evolving into our own version of public life class for Thrive Ministries.
I mean, basically it is.
Right. So this is your homework. If this has been a blessing to you, you can click that link above to sow into the ministry. We appreciate you all so much, and all of your seeds, all of your love that you sow into us. We appreciate you so much. There's a PayPal link there. I've also given Kerry's Zelle email there, and we also have a Cash App. Yeah.
And listen, we want you to understand something. When you're sowing to this ministry, you're sowing in great seed. Life with the Pope is part of Thrive Ministry. It's just another rendition of it, of where we can go more on this level than more on the spiritual talking level. Coffee with Kerry, what's your morning reset? The Thrive Ministry is itself. This is an extension of that. And so every seed you sow is sown in good soil. It allows us to bring you the broadcast that you're getting and the clarity and the sound and the aesthetics, other things that we're getting ready to set up for with in-person meetings. Listen, we're talking about doing retreats later on this year where we get to meet you guys and your families and your loved ones. No children, leave the children at home. The grown folk gonna meet up and have a good time. We're gonna have a night on a Friday night where we meet up somewhere, have food, have a dance floor, have a great time. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to have a good time and fellowship, because fellowship is missing. Yeah. We got so much drama going on in the world. We need some down woosah fellowship time. Doesn't that sound good to you?
Yeah.
So I said, I would love that. Yeah, we would love to meet you guys in person. We don't want fans. We want family to meet us, okay? We don't want you to go, oh my God, Kerry and Rebecca, sit down somewhere. We come to have fun.
Tiffany says, so blessed by this message. Much love to the Popes. Blessed. Confirmation to become my truth. Ladine says, thank you, sweetheart. Ronald says, powerful. Taylor says, I'm being me. I love the Lord, but my ministry is my ministry. Boundaries in place. Amen. My daughter is my ministry. Boundaries in place. Yeah, amen. Thank you for speaking life into us. That sounds like fun. All right. Healthy fellowship. All right, guys. We love you. Blessings in abundance.
Blessings in abundance.
We'll be back next Tuesday for the next installment of Life with the Popes. We love you. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter to get updates on everything that we have coming your way. We always send out our emails. Ari says, I would love to meet y'all.
Maybe we'll do a cookout. A big cookout.
That would
Get
be
a
fun
DJ and a cook. Would y'all like that?
In the park. That would be fun.
Have the park with a cookout and a DJ.
It'd be a Thrive reunion, a family reunion. It'd be a Thrive family reunion. That would be so fun.
Might just do that.
And like have fun, play some games in the park. That would be so cool.
Yeah, get a spades table going.
Oh my gosh, and dominoes.
Girl, you can't play dominoes.
Yes, I can.
You can't even see the numbers.
Whatever, I got glasses.
Still standing strong. Got some hard nights, but we kept got on. Up to the pay, earn when we grow. Getting quit when it got uncomfortable. We had to heal, had to find our voice. Had to choose peace even when it costs. Not perfect people, but we show up real. Faith over fear, learning how to feel. This is life with the Popes. Real love, real hope. Faith in the middle of the highs and lows. We talk it through, we heal, we grow. This is life with the Popes. This is life with